Hi folks, it's Donna Martin here, founder of the Good Life Approach and your Unleashing Your Infinite Possibilities podcast. Welcome back. As always, we set the intention of the podcast. It's inviting you to tune in and experience a new way of feeling about yourself, feeling about your life, and feeling about the world that we live in. So I invite you to sit down and let's get curious together. And this week's episode, folks, is an absolutely incredible one. It's one that I am so buzzed out at, and you can probably feel the energy on me because it's one that makes me giggle. It makes me laugh so much. It's how often have you heard this phrase? I'm just telling you the truth. Think about it. How often is this phrase used? Whether you've used it on someone or someone has used it on you throughout your life and in your immediate space, how often have you heard that? Well, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. It's just the truth. There it is. I'm just telling you. That's what it is. And how often do you actually believe it? How freaking often do you just happily go along and just say, okay, if they're saying it's the truth, then it must be the truth. I'm going to feel worse about myself. I'm going to feel like I've done wrong. I'm going to feel shitty. I'm going to feel silly. I'm going to feel stupid. I'm going to feel ugly. I'm going to feel not good enough. I'm going to feel like I've overstepped or I've done wrong or I've done something that I shouldn't. How often in your time has that bloody phrase wrecked your head or left you feeling less than or left you feeling shitty because somebody else has told you this is the truth and you've bought into it? And I'll just stop there for a minute, folks, because it was just like, what? And the reason I share this, and my husband will probably kill me for this if he listens to this particular episode, is because this is something that he says to me a lot. And folks, not just my husband, but a lot of people have told me throughout my lifetime, I'm just telling you the truth, or this is how it is, or this is the way things are. This is the truth of the matter. This is the facts, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And a great example I will use is when, if you're not familiar with my story, we had bought a house in Ireland. We had gutted it out, done it up, and long story short, there was a mess. We couldn't sell it. There was an issue with it because of something that was done wrong. All right. And in a nutshell, we were told to hand the house back or we would never get what we were looking for the house. We were told to settle for a specific amount of money and just walk away and take it and be grateful. That's what we were told. Now, we had gone to specialists. We had gone to people that were experts in their field, like the top of the top people, apparently, for this information, for what was supposedly the best advice that we could get, really, in our scenario. And I hope you're following along here, folks, because when we talk about the phrase, I'm just telling you the truth, this is how it is. This is the reality of this situation. In my experience from this, being an inquisitive person, being curious, being a questioner, asking the bloody ultimate, whose truth is it anyway? According to who? Because that has always been in me, because that curiosity for life and where information comes from and does it resonate, I ask the question, the truth according to who? Who said that this is the amount of money that we can get? Who said that this is the reason why? This is the logic why? This is the truth behind it why? Is this making sense? Because we were told that we would get X amount of pittance money and that this is what all that we should expect as an outcome to give our house over. But my curiosity, me knowing what I know, knowing the information that I know, knowing that I can intentionally design and create the outcomes through manifestation in my world, in my life. Not only did I triple the amount of money that I was told to expect, that I was told we would be lucky to get, I tripled that figure. But we were told that we were in no way on this earth ever getting a cash buyer because of the current climate, because of the current economical crisis, because of the way Ireland was at the moment, because of the way our situation was. We were told that there was absolutely no chance, not even a 1%, that we would get a cash buyer, let alone someone that would pay 3 times what we were told we would get. Folks, what did I intentionally manifest? A cash buyer that paid us 3 times the amount of money that we were told by the experts to settle for, that we would be lucky to walk away with. So I hope that you're hearing this loud and clear when you hear the phrase, I'm just telling you the truth. I want you to get so curious right now about the things showing up in your world. Because I proved to myself, I created my own evidence, doing what I do best as an intentional manifester, as a person setting the intention for my energy, what I know to be true, what I believe, what I'm willing to accept. I ignored the naysayers. I ignored the people that were supposed to be the experts. And I'm not saying that this is about every scenario, folks. I'm just using an example in my world of what I done that worked for me. Because I want you to ask yourself, whatever scenario you're in, what is the truth and according to who? What is your perception, your idea around this? Just because someone says it's the truth doesn't make it so. And I mean that in terms of whatever scenario that you're in, you can ask yourself, what is somebody saying about me? Are they saying that I'm not good at this? Are they saying that I'm not good enough? Are they saying that I can never achieve this, never create this, that I can never level up in this area? Are they saying that what I'm thinking, my idea is crazy? What things are you thinking? What truth, what ideas are coming to you, are inspiring you to do stuff? And people are knocking down. Edison with a light bulb, thousands of times. Think of the curling photography machine. Think of the Wright brothers that created the plane. People told them they were crazy. They wanted to lock them in an asylum because the truth of the day was so far removed from what those brothers had in their idea of what they wanted to create. Now, thank God they persisted. Thank God they ignored the naysayers. Thank God they didn't say, okay, because somebody said it's not possible, then it's not. So I invite you to get curious about that phrase, because how often have you freaking heard it and it stopped you in your tracks? How often have you heard somebody say, I'm just telling you the truth? And it's made you feel shitty. It's made you feel rubbish. It's made you halt what you were doing. It's made you squash your idea. It's made you feel small. It's made you accept an idea of you that's not true. It's made you accept that what somebody else believes about you is right when it absolutely freaking isn't. And I am so passionate about this, folks. I am so passionate about this idea of your response, getting curious. When my husband says to me, I'm just telling you the truth, Donna, or anybody else in my life has said to me over the years, well, I'm just telling you the truth, my answer has always been the same. The truth according to who? Your idea of the truth and my idea of the truth are allowed to be different. They do not have to be the same. There's no, yes, this is it, and no, this is not. There's no somebody forcing you and telling you this is how it is and just suck it up and get on with it. We all have different variations of the truth, how we see ourselves, how we view a situation, how we view our life, how we view our abilities, our capabilities. Do you view yourself as having infinite possibilities? Do you view yourself as being this incredible person? Do you view yourself as being someone that's stuck right now, somebody that's feeling very restricted, very frustrated? Do you view yourself where you have limitless possibilities and you just need to surround yourself with your kind of people? Are you filled beside naysayers, people that do not support you and do not get where you're at and what you're doing? Then start calling in your people, because I promise you they are there. Your people will get you, your people will connect with you because they're on a similar frequency, they're on a similar wavelength. And we don't have to get everybody else. Nobody else has to get us. It's not about telling someone you're right here and they're wrong. Absolutely not. This could not be further from the truth, folks. I really, really would love, 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 love you to start to get curious. If you haven't listened to any of the other podcasts, folks, I highly recommend tuning in and just getting curious about the questions that I'm inviting you to ask. Not to try and buy into anything that I'm sharing here, because it's about asking yourself the questions. What resonates with me? What feels right for me? What feels like a truth for me? What feels like a truth for you? What feels like, that actually feels like kind of, that's making sense to me. Because when you think about the phrase and how often you've heard it, when you think about how often, and I've done this so many times throughout my life, and somebody has said something to me, especially someone in authority or somebody that I perceive to be at a higher standard and authority, or a teaching figure, or when I started my nursing, somebody that was in nursing a lot longer. You don't question your authorities. You don't question someone that's more experienced or you believe or perceive to have a better skill set than you. But here's my question to you. When you invite yourself to get curious about what other people are thinking, when you move away from the ego, which is always about putting down, or I'm better than, or I know, and this is, I know all there is to know. That's not what it's about. When you come from a place of love and a place of open curiosity, and neutrality is the key here, folks. When you're just neutral, you've no judgment. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no positive charge, there's no negative charge, there's no seeking and searching for, I told you so, or this is right or wrong. It's just, okay, let's observe this. Let's see what noise comes to my mind. Let's see what things, my habitual behavior, my subconscious, it's already within me from my old experiences. Let's just be curious and observe. Let's see what shows up, what noise comes into my head. It's a bit rubbish. Listen to them. What do they think they know? I know better than that. Well, I know that not to be true. What noise is coming up in your head already? Because even when you get curious about that truth or that thing that's come to mind, ask yourself, where did this idea come from that's just popped into my head now? Where has this statement or this experience come from? Was it from someone I looked up to and was influenced by? Was it something that was drilled into me at home? Was it something drilled into me by a teacher, by society, by education, by social media? Was it something that I was influenced by, but it didn't feel right? Because when you invite yourself to get curious about the truths that you think you know, or feel you know, or that are showing up in your world, when you allow yourself to get curious about where you are right now, how you feel about yourself right now. If you're an infinite being and you have endless possibilities and you are a phenomenal loving being here to do greatness in this world, do you accept that? Or do you be like, nah, I'm just a teacher, just a parent, just a nurse, just a manager, just a business owner, just a whatever, just. Or I am, but I can only be great at one thing. I can be great as a business owner, but I can't be great in relationships because something has to give, something has to suffer. I can be a great mommy 2 times a week, but when I have to go and do work, then it suffers the rest of the time. I can be great at not judging myself, but I'm really good at judging others. Just listen to the noise and the chatter and allow yourself to be neutral. And then get curious about that question. I'm just telling you the truth. But what truths have you got within you that you've bought into that actually aren't yours? Boom. I'll say that again. What truths are coming to your mind that you actually just freely, just unconsciously bought into? You just kind of accepted them. Okay, that's the way it is. That's what we were taught grown ups. It's just the way it is. But now when you're reflecting, or when you're looking, or through your own adult experiences, or through different experiences, that feeling, that questioner within you has started asking the question, or maybe got curious and then kind of dubbed it down. Maybe not allowed the answer to come. So what questions about the truths that you believe, do you still believe them? Why do you believe them? Start asking yourself, where did they come from? And the next time it's somebody else, start a sentence or a phrase by saying to you, I'm just telling you the truth. Depending on what that is, in what context, in what scenario. Allow yourself to be neutral. Allow yourself to be curious. And ask yourself the question, the truth according to who? Is this a truth that I willingly accept? Is this a truth that I am going to consciously, intentionally reflect on first? Ask myself about first? Hold on a moment. What this person has just said or what has been experienced, is that something that I choose to accept as a truth and put into my belief system? Or is it something that I choose to reject and actually say, do you know what? Without judging the other person, because that's absolutely not what it's about. And you never have to be rude here, folks. It's about just saying, your response can simply be, interesting. And one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, that was his biggest phrase for when you're in a scenario where people say stuff. And it's not about being rude, but it's about the intention of, isn't that interesting? That's all you have to say, folks. You don't have to buy into it. You don't have to justify yourself. You don't have to prove them wrong. You don't have to be mean or nasty. You can just put in that practice, interesting. Okay. And that's it. Start getting curious about the things you're listening to. Start getting curious about the things that you're reading. Get curious about what I'm saying. Ask yourself, is that something that resonates with me? Is that something that I recognize in my own world, in my own life? Does it not? Ask yourself why it does, why it doesn't. And again, there's no right or wrong here. This is your life. You are unique. The intention of this podcast, the podcast is unleashing your infinite possibilities. This is the good life approach. This is my good life approach, how I approach life. And I invite you to get curious about applying the ideas and concepts and looking at them. And then taking what you need for your own life, taking what works for you for your own life, and leaving the rest. It's that simple. Because it's about you looking at how you think, how you perceive things. It's about paying attention to how you genuinely feel about things. Because feeling is one of the most dominant emotions that impacts into your thinking. It impacts into your beliefs. It impacts into your action. It impacts into how you show up in the world. It impacts into how you be in any given moment. So this is about you paying attention to how you feel. How you feel about the truths that you've been led to believe, how you feel about the truths that you're looking at and exploring and getting curious about and saying, actually, that's interesting, but I actually don't accept that as my belief. It's about having that freedom and knowing that you have the power to choose a different choice without being mean, without being rude, without being nasty. You have the power to choose for you who you decide to be every day. This is about feeling into your idea of how you want to experience yourself, your life, and the world that we live in. And that's exactly what this podcast is designed to do. So I will leave you with that thought today, folks. As always, send me an email, send me a message, reach out if you want to share your context on this. If you want to ask another question on this, just share it and I'm happy to reply because I love, love, love this stuff. So I'll leave you with this. How often have you heard the phrase, I'm just telling you the truth? How often have you said it to somebody else? And how often have you thought about it? The truth according to who? And remember, our greatest asset is our ability to be yourselves, folks. And this comes down to your core beliefs. This comes down to how you show up on any given day. This comes down to who you are choosing to be in any given moment. So who will you choose to be today in all of your truths? Thank you, folks. My name is Donna Martin, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.